Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk a little about uneven skin tone and what are some of the things we can do to even out, clear up, and brighten our complexion overall. First thing on the list, hyperpigmentation, otherwise known as age spots, sunspots, or liver spots. This condition is common. It can show up pretty much anywhere on the body, and it is caused due to an increase of melanin production in the skin, which can leave you with discoloration or spots that are brown, black, gray, red, or pink. Melasma, on the other hand, is a common skin disorder, which is what I have, and I'll touch on that later. Melasma is due to an overproduction of melanocytes, and melanocytes are the cells that are responsible for producing melanin. This condition is more common in women than it is in men, and it's often associated with female hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Pregnancy can also be a cause of melasma, which is the case for me. They say between 15 and 50% of pregnant women get melasma, and it is due to the fluctuating hormones through pregnancy. It can also be a sign of malnutrition, which can be linked to B12 deficiency and iron deficiency anemia. It can affect women who are taking oral contraceptive pills or hormones. And melasma usually shows up as either brown or gray patches on the face specifically. A lot of times you're going to see it along the cheek, the forehead, the bridge of the nose, and the upper lip. Now, when you compare the two, hyperpigmentation can be more on the surface level of the skin, whereas melasma is a bit deeper within those layers, which makes it very stubborn and difficult to clear up. Unlike hyperpigmentation, melasma is often a chronic condition. It can be very hard to treat. It gets worse when you get out in the sun, and it requires consistent treatment. Now, of course, I could only speak on my personal experience with melasma. It is going to look different for everyone as far as where it came from, how bad it gets, which treatments work, which ones don't. So I'm going to share with you what I have done and what I have found have worked for me in the past and present time. I had some before and after photos that I was going to pop up here for you on a side by side, but the flash drive I put them on does not want to show me anything. So unfortunately, I don't have anything to show you right now. If I find them in the future, which I'm hoping to get them recovered, I will make another video and show you my before and after. But in the meantime, I want to quickly cover some topical treatments as well as in-office treatments that I have found work for me. Here is a close-up of my skin. I do not wear foundation, so you're going to be able to see right through. My melasma shows up in a few different areas. I've got a patch on my forehead here and some more over here. You're going to see a little bit on the side of my cheek. And then oftentimes, especially in the summer, when that sun hits my face, you're going to see them along the tops of my cheekbones. When it comes to topical products that you can use at home or on the go, these are the ones that I highly recommend. Number one is going to be sunscreen, a broad spectrum sunscreen specifically, because that is going to cover both UVA for aging and UVB for burning. Now, sunscreen is a must every day, rain, snow, or shine. And then I would also recommend in the summertime a wide brimmed hat, something that is going to help to shield or block you from those rays. I also recommend using a chemical exfoliant. Now, the instructions on the usage are going to vary depending on what kind you're using. But the one I use, which is by Illumier MD, is a gentle enough formula that I am able to use it both morning and night. A chemical exfoliant is going to help to speed up that cell turnover, sloughing off the top layer of dead skin. Next up is a retinoid. I use a retinol resurfacing serum. This one is 0.25. I'm slowly working my way back up to 0.5 and so on and so forth. You can also use tretinoin. Now, depending on what you're using, it's going to change the frequency in which you use it, as well as the sensitivity of your skin and how you respond to it. A quality vitamin C is also great for brightening your complexion. This one is a CNE peptide. Illumier MD also carries an IntelliBright complex, which can help with these things. And last on the list for topical creams, but definitely not least, actually probably first, is going to be a prescription hydroquinone. This one I order online from muesli.com, and you can send in your photos and your history, and they're going to help to prescribe the right percentage for you. Mine is currently set for 12%. Now, I took a long break from some of my good skincare habits while I was pregnant and over the past couple years as my son has been growing. So some of my melasma has flared back up again. I am starting this over to get the clarity that I got the first time. Another important thing to note when you're using topical creams of any kind is what time of the day is best to use it and what order of application is best. Vitamin C is always going to be in the morning, and that is going to be followed by your SPF. In the evening before bed is when you're going to want to use your retinol, which will then be followed by your hydroquinone if you're using it. So I would say retinol first, followed by your HQ. Now on to the in-office treatments that you can do to help. I am not familiar with all of them, but I will share what I have done and what I am looking into for the future. Chemical peels are an option. I've only tried them once. For me personally, I didn't see a massive change in my melasma specifically, although it did help to resurface and brighten my complexion a bit. Microneedling and radio frequency microneedling, that is something I would like to try in the future. I have not done yet, but I have heard that aside from helping with collagen production and elasticity, it could potentially help with discoloration as well. So that's something that's on my list to try for the future. You could do a PRP, platelet-rich plasma facial. With PRP, they use your own blood to promote collagen and to trigger growth factors. And lastly, on my list for in-office treatments, but definitely not least, this is the one treatment that I have had major success with in the past. It is called a BBL, and before you say it, that's not what it is. It stands for broadband light, and it is a photo rejuvenation therapy. And they use intense pulse light to snap through the depths of the different layers of skin to target that hyperpigmentation, melasma, dark spots, and discoloration. And essentially what it does is the light and the heat go deep to penetrate. They hit this pigment, it breaks it up into pieces, and your body breaks it down. And you do this over and over and over, and over time it's going to get rid of that discoloration, brighten up your complexion, and even your tone all around. I did a series of 3 for the broadband light with a little healing time in between each session. But that was almost a couple years ago now, shortly after my son was born. So that is something that I would like to do on repeat, maybe once a year. As the summer sun leaves and the fall season approaches, that's a great time of year to do a treatment like a BBL, because it's just going to clear your complexion from all of the discoloration and the damage from the sun over the past few months. But to wrap this up, I just want to say that hyperpigmentation, melasma, depending on your circumstance, can potentially be inevitable. I would say number 1, wear your sunscreen. Number 2, wear your wide-brimmed hats. And number 3, get yourself a quality skincare routine that you repeat every single day. Your AM routine should be a little different from your PM routine, and then focus on things that trigger and target your specific pain points that you want to take care of first. So to recap, when it comes to melasma specifically, some of the things that I stand behind are daily chemical exfoliant, nightly retinol, morning vitamin C, daytime broadband SPF, and then of course, prescription hydroquinone for at home and a BBL broadband light treatment for in office. The results you get are not going to be permanent. Your discoloration will come back, especially if you're not following your routines and protecting your skin. So I would say get yourself a great routine and do these things annually, biannually, or as frequently as you feel you need in order to keep that complexion bright. Thank you for tuning in today. Remember that everyone's journey with uneven skin tone is going to be a little different from one person to the next. And if any of the things that I recommended work for you, please let me know in the comments below. I'm excited to hear.